Mr. President, I, John Adams, would like to say a word in support of the Declaration of Independence. And the word is this, sir, that sink or swim, live or die, survive or perish, I am here ready to put my hand and my heart to vote for the Declaration of Independence. The injustice of England has driven us to take up arms. Blinded by her own greed and her own purposes, and blind to our good, she has obstinately persisted until now. Independence is within our grasp. We have but to reach out and take it, and it is ours. Why then would we defer to vote on this Declaration of Independence? Do we mean to submit to the measures of Parliament? Do we mean to be ground to powder by England? Do we mean for our country to be trodden underfoot and its rights be put in the dust? Sir, I know we do not mean to submit. We never shall submit. I know the people of these colonies, and I know their resistance to British aggression is deep in their hearts and cannot be eradicated. And every colony has demonstrated its willingness to stand with us if we will but lead. Sir, this declaration will inspire the people to increased courage and devotion. Read this declaration at the head of the army, and every sword be drawn from the scabbard, and a vow be made to stand up for it or die on the field of battle. Publish this declaration in the pulpits of America, and religion will agree with it, and the love of religious liberty will cling to it and stand and resolve to stand or fall with it. Publish this declaration in the public halls. Let them hear it who first heard the roar of the enemy's cannon. Let them see it who first saw their sons and their fathers fall on the Battle of Bunker Hill, and who first saw their brothers and their husbands die in the streets of Lexington and Concord. And the very walls of these public buildings will cry out for its support. Sir, I know the uncertainty of human affairs, but I see clearly through this day's business. You and I indeed may rue it. We may not live to see the day this declaration shall be made good. We may die. Die colonists. Die slaves. Die, it may be, ignominiously and on the scaffold. Be it so. Be it so. If my country shall require the offering of my poor life as a sacrifice, the victim shall be ready at the appointed hour of sacrifice. But be assured, this declaration will stand. It may cost treasure and it may cost blood, but it will stand and richly compensate for both. Through the thick gloom of the present, I see the brightness of the future as the sun in heaven. We shall make July 4th a glorious and immortal day. When we are in our graves, our children will honor it. They will celebrate it with thanksgiving, with festivities, with bonfires, with illuminations. On its annual return, they will shed tears, copious, gushing tears, not of subjection and slavery, not of agony and distress, but of exultation, of triumph, and of joy. Sir, before God, I believe the hour has come. My judgment approves this measure, and my whole heart is in it. And I leave off as I begun, that live or die, survive or perish, I am for the Declaration. It is my living sentiment, and by the blessing of God, it shall be my dying sentiment. Independence now, and independence forever.
Today, and yet we look around and see so many trotting over the freedoms and liberties we died to obtain. And we would like to say to them, you call yourself an American. You don't know the meaning of the word. You stand by idle while they burn the flag, while they curse. No protest is heard. As the flames burn the red of Old Glory, red stripes that speak of our blood who stood against the British at Concord and fell in the onrushing flood. As you watch the flames licking and climbing, engulfing the red of our flag, see blood as it's dripping and falling from a young, lifeless form dressed in rags. You call yourself an American. You've forgotten just what the word means as you sit there in silence, as your country's flag burns. Let me bring to your mind some old scenes. As the flames burn the white of Old Glory that hangs there from traitors' long pole, think of pilgrims whose pure, holy purpose was to establish a home for the soul. They left the corruption of England with its drunkenness, looseness, and vice. They likewise left Holland so worldly, though to go was like leaving home thrice. For the love of the Bible they braved the wild sea. For the saving of truth they embarked, so that moral uprightness would have room to breathe, so that light could shine out through the dark. As you sit there now, watching the white of the flag, as it turns to a pale, charcoal gray, just remember that the white men a pure, righteous cause, and that purity is fading away. You call yourself an American. You best call yourself something new. For as you turn away from the flag burning there, you've forgotten the meaning of blue. The blue fields, with its stars, with the fires dancing now, spoke of God's purpose, strong for our land, of a new constellation in his myriad of stars, a new country, now spun from his hand, as a young treacherous face grins at flames burning bright, red flames burning up the pure blue. Oh, let your heart be reminded that the King of all heaven formed this land for the brave and the true. 'Tis his purpose divine that from these shores the gospel should spread o'er the world, and the flag burning there is a symbol sublime, whose beauty must again be unfurled. You call yourself an American, then act like it. Rush to her aid, knock the traitor aside and smother the flames, and then order the flag be remade. Then you place a firm foot on the neck of the foe, and raise the new flag to its place. Let the band play a hymn, let the choir lift it high for our land and the God of all grace. And with tears in your eyes, look up to the skies and see your proud flag paint the breeze. And notice small burns in the folds and the turns that say, nevermore. Take your ease.